The biggest, most important aspect of shooting is a consistent, repeatable stroke the right way. You know, they say practice makes perfect. Well, you know, perfect practice makes perfect. And I like the ability for guys to be able to repeat that shot in many different aspects, footwork, you know, jumping, where your hand position, all those things, but the arc, that's significant. And I think that allows them to become consistent and have that repeatable stroke that makes, to me, the best shooter you can be. I've always been someone who's studied shooting and training aids to help with the shot. So when I heard about Noah and then studied it a little bit, I was really drawn to it. And then we purchased it at Washington State, I think in 2000, maybe 6 or 7, and I really liked it. I was excited because, to me, one of the main breakdowns in players shooting is their inconsistent arc, or generally they shoot too flat of a shot. And every good shooter I've watched, just playing or even myself, when I shot, you see it. You can almost, if you've watched enough shooters, you see about what the right arc is. But here's, instead of the coach saying get it higher, now you can't hide. I like that. There's an audio feedback. It is scientific, and there's actual data to back that up, and it's well researched, and it makes you feel good about it, because it's not just your word saying, well, I think you know, if you shoot this arc with 45 degrees, you know, like I said, I watched the Chris Mullins, Ray Allens, Mark Price, you know, and I think that's right. But when you say, no, science backs us up, now let's look at those great shooters you talk about. Let's just see where they are. And all of them are in that range, then that even adds more to it. You've studied the great shooters, plus you've scientifically proved it. And, you know, I used the terminology before. I said we want a consistent, repeatable stroke. Sometimes everybody has different forms, how wide their shoulders are, where they put their elbow, and you can't be textbook. But one thing that you can be textbook with is your arc. And your body is an amazing machine, or it's an amazing invention where it'll figure out ways, even if your mechanics aren't perfect, it'll figure out ways, okay, I got to release it on the way up, or I got to hold my follow through a little higher to get you to that arc. And almost you start at the end result and your body figures out. And I like that. You know, a number of our guys, Malcolm Brogdon had a flat shot. He was first team all ACC this year, and he really went to work on lifting his shot up. His shot became more consistent, his numbers improved, and I think a lot of that's because he was a better arc shooter, if you want to say it that way. When we do our workouts in the fall, all of our players, we have like the stations that we do, and all of them, I kind of get them addicted to it, because once you start shooting on it, it becomes, you kind of like to see where your shot is. But all of them use it, and then they get a feel, almost a baseline. Okay, this is what my arc is, how consistent. I can fine tune back in the year, and even throughout the year we kind of have stations through it where they have to shoot on it to get that feedback. You can't always be in the gym with your guys, and I think the ability for them to get that kind of feedback themselves, that's so important for your players, that they can come in and they don't have to do anything but go to shoot. And I think, you know, they can, with their iPhones or their smartphones, you can track their stuff, right? They came in and they put in 200 shots, their average arc was this, their average distance the ball went in. Like, you can really get that feedback. And I think if you can chart and monitor your progression or your improvement and get feedback, and even there's accountability with that. How many shots did you shoot? Where do I line up to other shooters? It almost becomes interactive with other players, with society, what an excellent shooter is. I think it's good, and I like having that data. You know, in the old days we used to just, all right, I shot my 500 shots. You'd kind of mark it on the, you know, a little notebook you'd take with you. Well, this is different, but I think there's a lot more to it instead of just coming and shooting. And I think the way society is, the technology, how it's geared towards it, I think it's a very positive thing. And I just wanted guys getting consistent. So what I believe about the shot and a training aid, and for consistency and a repeatable stroke, I thought it really met our needs.